Bear Down Bears fans, how are y'all feeling today? Bears coming off another dub, back-to-back dubs, but very concerning what we've seen from the Chicago Bears defense lately. And so the question on the table is, should the Chicago Bears be concerned by this defense? Let's talk about it right now. Now, if you are new to the channel, please like the video. Please subscribe to the page because we do talk Chicago sports weekly. And we don't want you to miss a thing, so make sure that you hit that bell. Now, the Chicago Bears coming in off a back-to-back dub. Can't hate on that. Give me a bear down in the comments for that. Back-to-back dubs and getting yourself back into playoff contention. But what we've seen since the bye week has been a pouring in of offense and a concerning lack of defense, to the point that, in all honesty, in a couple of the games since the bye week, we can point to the defense and say, you are the reason that we lost this game. You are the reason that we were not able to stay in this game, which is something that we haven't been able to say about this defense all season, right? This has been a defense that has been the backbone of this team. This has been a defense that literally has stood us up while nobody else could, because the offense just wasn't doing anything. Now we've seen, since Mitch Trubisky has returned, this offensive outpouring, this life that has been breathed into the Chicago Bears offense since the return of Mitch Trubisky. Seeing him and Bill Lazor pair up to call plays, all of a sudden we're seeing great things on the field. We're seeing great game plans. We're seeing great execution, except on the defensive side of the ball. Since the bye week, the Chicago Bears in 4 games have given up 41, 34, 7, good game versus the Texans. Can't take that away from you. Deshaun Watson has been putting up some really good numbers. So 7, listen, that's a big number. And then yesterday, 27 versus the Vikings. Now, 27 you can kind of live with in this NFL, right? 27 is not a horrible outpouring of points. The concerning part was you weren't able to get the stops when your team needed them. You weren't able to get the stops when your team needed them most, which is something that honestly we've seen in the bye. In that Detroit game, they weren't able to get the stop when the team needed them most. In that Packers game, they basically didn't stop anything, so you really can't even look at that one. I mean, Aaron Rodgers wasn't even touched in that Packers game. But even yesterday versus the Vikings, unable to get the stops when we've needed it most. And so I'm very concerned by what we're seeing on this Chicago Bears defense. And I don't want us to think that I'm like saying that this defense hasn't been the heartbeat of this team, but you got to continue that. Now you're getting the points you asked for. Now you're getting the offensive outpouring that you asked for. This is what we've been asking for all year. I don't know what it is about these Matt Nagy-led teams that we just can't get even keel. And we can't get both of them going every week, week in and week out at the same pace. You know what I'm saying? It's like one does great, one does horrible. One does great, the other does horrible. It's tough to see. You hate to see it. But the thing that is most concerning to me is the consistency that we haven't seen out of this Bears defense. I mean, are they getting some pressure on the quarterback? Yeah, they're getting some sacks there. I think we saw better pressure on Kirk Cousins yesterday. I think you have to tip your hat to how he handled a lot of the pressure that came his way. But now you're seeing a secondary that's getting chopped up. Now we've seen all season that while Roquan Smith is having a great season, Danny Trevathan has kind of struggled, and that teams are attacking where he is on the field. And so while you're getting that pressure, we're not seeing the turnovers like we would normally see out of this defense, or even the deflection. You know what I'm saying? If there's really anything that's concerning me, it's the fact that teams are seemingly moving the ball down the field with relative ease. I think the Vikings did that. We know that the Lions did that. We know that the Packers did that. And these are 3 of your most important games. These are all division games that you needed to win. And in 2 of those, that your offense puts you in a position to win. And so there's a lot of concern on the defensive side of the ball for me. Now, before I continue with the video, I want to know your opinion. Let me know in the comments below. Should the Chicago Bears be concerned by what they're seeing on defense? Let me know in the comments below. I'll be down there talking with you as well. And here's the thing. I know that it's kind of a sin in Chicago to talk about this defense in a bad light. It's a sin in Chicago to talk about this defense. It's taboo almost to talk about this defense as struggling, but they are struggling, and they're struggling mightily. Now, is it because possibly they're worn out? Possibly. I mean, you carry a team all season. Could you get worn out? Absolutely. Is this because the offense has let them down for so long that they're just exhausted on the defensive side of the ball? Possibly, but this is what you get paid to do. And listen, they get paid well on that defensive side of the ball. There is a ton of money on that defensive side of the ball, and deservingly so. Eddie Jackson deserved every dime he got, but he hasn't played up to the level that he was playing at when he got that dime. Khalil Mack has deserved every dime he's got, but we haven't seen him get home enough. We haven't seen him get to the quarterback enough. Akeem Hicks deserves every dollar he got. The only person over there who probably doesn't deserve every dollar they got is Robert Quinn. And the only reason I say that is because I fully believe that the Bears signed a hurt player, because he was the guy who was getting home ridiculous. Shout out to Robert Quinn for getting home yesterday, though. Okay, we see you on the stat sheet, Robert Quinn. But these guys deserve the money they got. They played for that money. Kyle Fuller played for that money and played his butt off. But we need this Bears defense to wake up if the Bears are going to really do anything. We need this Bears defense to come back to life if they're really going to do anything. I understand that there's the possibility that they're worn out. I know that we have guys out there who are playing injured. You know what I'm saying? That's not even a possibility. I know it. Khalil Mack's out there dang near every week on the injury report. I know that there's guys out there that are playing injured. But this is nothing new. These are issues that we've seen all throughout the season that have been accentuated, probably because of them being worn out. I mean, we've seen teams gash us on the run game all season. We've seen teams be able to move the ball down the field all season. This Bears team has been very bend but don't break. But where our bread and butter was, in the red zone, you were not going to get touchdowns. In the red zone, you were not going to get into that end zone. And that just hasn't been the case since the bye week. We've seen teams move the ball through the air effortlessly. We've seen teams get into the red zone and score effortlessly. And it almost seems like there's been a lack of communication when down in the red zone. It almost seems like even that first touchdown yesterday to Adam Thielen, the fact that nobody was covering him, the fact that he's been a threat all season in the red zone, and that nobody on defense went his way. Nobody on defense saw him and thought that he would be the red zone threat. There's just been a lot of things kind of building up to this point. We've seen the Bears get run over by the run game, and now we've seen the passing game come to life, both in the middle of the field and in the red zone. And I think that it's just taking its toll on this team, you know? Now, does that fall on Chuck Pagano? Does that fall on the offense for being so putrid at the beginning of this season that now this defense is just exhausted and they're trying to get themselves back into it? I don't know. But you have to find a way to get more engaged, because if we can get a little bit of what we saw in the beginning of this season, if we can get just a little bit of that heading into a hopeful playoff run, then who knows how far this Bears team can go. Honestly, I mean, if you've got an offense that's putting up points and you've got a defense that's getting stops, that's the team that we've hoped for. That's the team that we've been looking for. And unfortunately, for most of the season, that's not the team that we've seen. When we've seen one be great, we've seen one struggle. So at the end of the day, I want to know how you guys feel. Let me know how you feel about the Chicago Bears defense in the comments below. I will be down there talking with each and every one of you. At the end of the day, I want to know how you guys feel. Let me know in the comments below. I will be down there talking with you as well. How do you feel about the Chicago Bears defense? Are you concerned? Are you not worried about it? Are you like, they'll figure it out? I am going to get up out of here. It is your boy, Pat the Designer, back at it again. To continue watching our Chicago Bears content, click the links here. Check the links in the description below. Y'all stay safe out there, Chicago. Peace.